Well, the BBC has heard multiple accounts of torture and kidnap in the Ukrainian region of Kherson, Joe was just mentioning, which has been occupied by Russian troops since the beginning of Russia's invasion. The UN and Human Rights Watch have said they're investigating accusations of human rights abuses and have gathered similar testimonies. Our correspondent Caroline Davies sent this report from Ukraine and a warning some viewers may find it disturbing from the start.
Alexander's bruises are fading, but the memories of what happened to him in Kherson have not. This, he says, is the result of torture at the hands of the Russian authorities. He explains how he was hung by his wrists and put in the stress position. Alexander was a conscript in the Ukrainian army, but is now a businessman who lived in a village in the Kherson Oblast.
They put the bag on my head. The beating began. The Russians began to threaten that I would not have kidneys. I didn't take off my watch. They started smashing it, trampling my feet. When I was severely beaten on this side, I lost consciousness.
Oleg is a journalist. Within days of Russia's invasion, he says he was kidnapped.
They kicked me and hit me with the butt of a machine gun. Later, when I went to the doctor, I learned that they had broken 4 ribs. I heard them torturing other prisoners. I think that was even worse for me than the physical beatings, because psychologically it was very difficult to survive.
Russian troops took control of Kherson in southern Ukraine early in the war. Without being able to go into the region, it's difficult to corroborate these accounts, but we've heard multiple testimonies with allegations of kidnap and torture.
I saw gunshot wounds, consequences of rape, burns, fractures, injuries of internal organs, craniocerebral injuries when a person is brought in an unconscious state.
We spoke to one Kherson hospital doctor who wanted to remain anonymous. He said he's treated multiple patients with signs of torture on their bodies.
I saw burn marks on genitals and burns from an iron on a patient's back and stomach. A patient told me that a wire was connected to a car battery. 2 bare wires were attached to his groin and his feet were on a wet rag.
The UN and the organisation Human Rights Watch are also investigating what's happening in Kherson.
I think what we see in the testimony that you've captured is very consistent with what we're hearing, not just in areas currently under occupation, but also areas that were formerly occupied by Russian forces.
The Russian authorities did not respond to our request for comment. They've previously called other allegations of war crimes staged. But as more testimonies are gathered, many paint a picture of fear, intimidation, violence and repression of life under Russian control. Caroline Davies, BBC News, Odessa.